Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Illinois is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, George Will once said, Chicago Cub fans are 90% scar tissue. So as we stand here 4 days after the city of Chicago and all the United States were disappointed by the IOC's decision, I can assure you that there is no city better equipped to handle a little disappointment. And despite the tremendous efforts of President and Mrs. Obama, Mayor Daley, Pat Ryan, and thousands of volunteers, that's exactly what befell my hometown last week, disappointment. But the city of Chicago has already shaken it off and is waiting with open arms for the world to visit. Because as I've said before, Chicago was a world-class city before the Olympic decision and will be a world-class city tomorrow. My hometown is often referred to as the second city, but most people don't realize that the nickname has nothing to do with our relationship to other cities. The name refers to a city which was rebuilt in the years following the Great Chicago Fire, a city where we pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, dust off our shoulders, and get back to work. So with congratulations to Rio, I'd like to offer a list of the top 10 reasons the world should stop by for a slice of deep dish in Chicago, the greatest city in the world. Number 10, the architecture. One of Chicago's great residents, Daniel Burnham, was known for saying, "Make no little plans, they have no magic to stir men's blood." From the Louis Sullivan buildings downtown, the Mies van der Rohe Rose collection at IIT, to the neighborhood bungalows, to the Sears Tower that scrapes the sky, Chicago's architecture is distinct and historic. The schools. I'm a proud graduate of Roosevelt University, the University of Chicago, and Loyola University, and had the honor of teaching young Chicagoans as well. Chicago is a place that inspires great ideas, but the Windy City is also a destination for the world's greatest minds. Close to 90 Nobel laureates have passed through the halls of University of Chicago and Northwestern University. Green space. My district is home to one of the country's largest urban parks, Lincoln Park, which is also home to the oldest public zoo in the country, still free admission. Want to play 16-inch softball? You have 552 parks to choose from. No glove needed. And the Forest Preserve system is home to 68,000 acres of open space. The lake. Chicago has one of the most beautiful shorelines in the world. 26 miles of lakefront with 15 miles of beaches. It's a front row seat to one of the largest freshwater sources in the world, and a reminder of our responsibility to conserve it. The museums. The Art Institute of Chicago, just one of our museums, displays some of the most famous pieces of previous centuries and trains artists to produce the finest works of this century. The arts. Chicago's music is played all around the world, wherever people love the blues, gospel, jazz, or rock. And of course, we are home to the preeminent Chicago Symphony Orchestra and the Lyric Opera. Most of the great comedians on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock came through Chicago, home of the Second City Troupe. I guarantee you, Mr. Speaker, that no one in Copenhagen has ever had a proper hot dog or slice of pizza unless they spent a little time in Chicago. From breakfast at Ann Sather's to chicken dinner at MacArthur's to a midnight snack at the Wiener Circle and all the pierogi, tacos, and steaks in between, it is the finest eating on earth. Sports. All of our teams are among the oldest in their leagues, and all of them play right in the city. They've all won championships, some more recently than others, but everyone is entitled to a bad century. Number 2, the neighborhoods. Chicago has a beautiful downtown. Nothing is more majestic than coming northbound or southbound on Lakeshore Drive, but it's the diverse neighborhoods that make us world class. In one sense, the world doesn't need to come to Chicago. It already has. From Bowmanville to Bronzeville, Portage Park to Albany Park, Pilsen to Pullman, take the L around Chicago, and you've visited dozens of countries without ever leaving the city limits. Finally, the number one reason the world should come to Chicago is the same reason I never left: the people. The second city has always been second to none. Why? Because the people of Chicago look not at what we lost last week in Copenhagen, but at what we now have the opportunity to accomplish. We know that our organizing efforts were not wasted. We can build better schools on safer streets. We can build better transit with greener technology, and beyond our bid plans, lay big plans for our future. In the words of Superdog, one of Chicago's iconic hot dog stands, I look forward to welcoming you by saying, hiya from the bottom of my pure beef heart. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to coming back next summer with Chicago Stanley Cup. Thank you.
Gentleman yields.